Hey splashers, welcome back to the channel. Based on high demand, I'm going to be teaching you how to cut this circle or flare trouser. Many find this difficult, but trust me, within few minutes I'm going to be putting you through. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. Do well to hit the like and subscribe button for more fashion tips. If this is what you're interested in, let's dive in. Now, first thing you want to do is to fold your fabric into two and then into another two, just as if you want to cut a 180 degrees flare. Take note that for this tutorial I used 4 yards of Ankara fabric. After folding, you want to mark out 4 inches from the top down to the end there and then connect the lines together. Next is to go to the other end of the fabric there and mark out 1 inch down to the end, also connect. The purpose of this is to get our pocket allowance, so fixing a pocket is optional. If you wouldn't be adding a pocket to yours, there's no need subtracting that 1 inch from the end there, okay? So this is optional. Take note of how I'm doing the slanting. I didn't measure the 1 inch down to the end, so when I got to a reasonable point, I slanted it so the joining won't get to the down, but it has to be 1 inch from the top there. The next is to get our waist measurement. Take note, this is for both the front and the back, so everything we are cutting is together. Your waist divided by 4 is what you're doing. You're not adding any allowance to it. Place your tape and gauge where you have what you divided for your waist and then mark it out straight. You are not making a curve or anything. So this space here is for our crotch extension, and then to get your crotch, divide your hip by 4. So for this, since it's a free circle trouser, I want it to be so free, so add 2 inches extra. After dividing your hip by 4, add 2 extra inches, mark it out and then curve it down to the end. Sorry, this is not showing properly, but what I've just done is connecting it to the end there. So this part, I want it to be the back because it will be having a joining. This is not up to the length I need. So what we'll do is to bring out 1 inch from that crotch extension part and then measure about 8 inches downward and connect. That will be for our zipper allowance. So we are cutting that out only for the back part, okay? So first of all, we'll cut everything equally and then separate the front part and then cut it out straight. So the next thing is to get your length. For your length, you can decide to add just 1 inch because you'll be adding a band. So I placed my tape 1.5 inches before the waistline. That is because I want a band of 2 inches by the time I'm done. So the excess I have downward is what I folded to be able to get my complete length. Don't forget to subtract 1.5 inches from the top part before getting your length. So if you want a band of 1.5 inches, subtract 1. If you want a band of 2, you subtract 1.5. So you are going to be adjusting this tape rule to get your measurement all round, because this is just like a flare, like a circle, okay? So you are going to measure out the length you need and then connect the lines together. After connecting the lines together, you are going to be cutting this out. If you notice, the extra I'm joining to complete the length for the back part is not equal, so I'm going to check the down and then equalize it before cutting out the extra part. So you have to be careful about this. Next is to cut out the crotch area. So you have to cut this together with the zipper, despite the fact that the zipper will be only at the back. So you have to cut this out first. After cutting it out, you separate the one for the front and then cut out the zipper allowance at the front and then leaving the back part only. Also, you are going to be cutting out the waist area. Take note, since this is a flare, there might be excesses despite the fact that you divided your waist by 4. So what you want to do is that if you have excesses, you'd be adding a dart to it, but if you would not be needing a dart, you have to be careful not to make this stretchy, or probably you reduce about 2 inches from your actual waist measurement. So we are done cutting the two parts, so I'm separating the part I'll be using for the front here and then see the way I'm folding in the zipper allowance and then cutting out the front part, because the zipper will be at the back and not the front. So I want to work on the front part, so take away 2 pieces, and then for the front at the waist part, come down by 1 inch and slant it to the end of the fabric there. This is to avoid bulging at the stomach area. Just make sure you give it that slant. And remember, in trousers the back is usually bigger, wider and all that. So after cutting this out, we'll go to this crotch area and then subtract 1 inch. Okay, you see it, subtract 1 inch from there. That 1 inch now is what is making it lesser than the back part. Just slant it to the end of the fabric there. The 1 inch doesn't have to get to the down, just have to slant it and then cut it out. For the side there where we subtracted 1 inch for the pocket allowance, you just open it up a little, not down to the end. Okay, so when you're sewing, you sew from the 1 inch and slant it to the down. Okay, remember the length of this fabric is not by 60, so if your length is by 60, you'll have a plus. Your back will not be having a joining like this one, but if it's an Ankara fabric, there must be a joining. So this joining we already cut out, place them right sides facing each other and then sew on a straight line using 1/2 inch. You know, you are doing this 2 times for the 2 pieces, because the back is 2 pieces and the front is 2 pieces. So let's go to the table. So remember, this is a cut together kind of. This is the pocket part. Remember, the front and the back is still together, and this is the zipper allowance part for the back. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to join the down part. Remember, our fabric was not enough, so I've joined it. I already showed you how to join it before. This is what it looks like after joining it. So the next thing now is to proceed to fixing our pocket. So this opening here is for our pocket, and this part here is the front part. Okay, remember, this part is the back, so I'm just trying to make you familiar with this. Okay, so the next thing now is to fold this together and then join the flap. Fold the 2 front together. This is what it looks like after joining the front part. And then the next thing now, this is the pocket, the 2 parts I'm just showing you. So for the back part, we are not joining it from the top to the crotch. We are starting from where our zipper is going to stop. So you sew with 1/2 inch and stop somewhere here. You are going to make sure you stitch it. So this is what it looks like after joining it using 1/2 inch. So I have a fabric here I'll be using for the pocket. I'll be cutting the 2 together. Just fold it this way. Okay, I folded it into 2 first and then into another 2. I want to use a width of about 5 and 5.5. okay, so after marking this, you are going to mark it at the down part too and then connect the lines together. I'm using a length of 13 for this one, so mark your 13, connect the lines and then give it a nice curve. So we are just going to go ahead to cut this out. So the next thing is to get the length of the pocket opening. So I used 7, give it a notch. I'm just opening this place up. So this is the front and this is the back. So the front part is where we are sewing from. We're just going to sew using 1/2 inch. This is what we'll have. We are just going to turn it over, and if you notice, this is the back and the inside is the front part. So top stitch, this is what we'll have after top stitching. So we'll go over to where we cut out for the pocket. Remember, we left our opening here was 7, so we'll make the same 7 opening for the main fabric. So if you measure out your 7 inches, you're going to mark it. So you sew using 1 inch and then slant it to the end. You are not going to use 1 inch to the down. So this is what we'll have after slanting it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this up so that we can sew comfortably. So open this up and then place the pocket this way. Just take note of the way I'm placing it. Remember, our pocket allowance is 1 inch, so we are placing it in a way that the pocket itself will be sewing with 1/2 inch, but the allowance left is 1 inch. So you are going to place it in between that 1 inch and then mark this. Okay, this is the line you're going to sew. Turn it over so you can pin this down. When you turn it over, you're going to repeat the same thing. Place it properly. Make sure where your 7 inches ends on the pocket is where it ends on the main fabric. This is what it looks like, and make sure to double stitch the ends. Okay, so turn it inside. This is what the inside looks like. So you are going to just turn it over to the front part and then pin it. You want to top stitch the front. This is what it should look like. Okay, so this is how it should look. And then for the other side, I've already fixed the pocket there too. This one is facing this side, so this one too is going to face this side. We'll top stitch it, and then after top stitching it, we are going to go back to the inside part. We want to secure the end of the pocket there. So where that 7 inches stop, you are going to top stitch it so that it doesn't lose in the future. So you are going to bring this fabric to the front, and then this is what it looks like. So the next is our flap. This is the flap area. I'm just making sure the 2 lines of the flap meets. So we're going to sew using 1/2 inch on both sides to the end, and that is what I've already done here. So the next thing is to fix the band. In the last tutorial where I sew a straight trouser, I showed you how to fix the band. So this is what the band should look like. Just measure the whole thing you have plus the allowance and cut it out. So sew and then insert your zipper. For the zipper is a straight sewing. Sew at one end and then also at the other end, and then just go ahead to secure each end, top stitching and double stitching. That's basically all you need to know. So guys, this is what the outcome looks like. Unfortunately, this is for a client, so I couldn't fit it on my body, but trust me, this is perfect. Just take a look at it. You can hardly tell it's a trouser. One would think it's just a flare skirt. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please subscribe and drop a like. Until next time, keep splashing guys.